Am I live? I think I'm live. All right, so let's make this a quicker live stream than yesterday. Yesterday was my longest live stream ever. It was like 3 hours. And I'm excited about that all at the same time because number one, my channel is growing. And number two, your interest, right? And improving your financial situation of the people that follow me and tune in is growing as well. So your do now is to come in and either say hello, number one, or number two, drop your city or state in the comment section. And number three, hit that thumbs up because YouTube, Facebook, all of them, Periscope, you hit the hearts. Love those algorithms. So do those three things for me. You can do 2 out of the 3, or you can do all 3, right? You can drop your city and state. You can say hello, and you can hit the thumbs up to share this broadcast so more people can get the information you are receiving, and it will notify them that I am live, right? So good evening, afternoon, soon to be in the night of everyone coming in. And I'm going to jump right into the subject. I saw something fly. I'm going to jump right into the subject as you all are still coming in, dropping your city and state, and the notifications are being sent out. And as you all are saying hello. So let me adjust this just a little bit. Okay. So I love to know what city and state that you're in because it helps me understand maybe some things that may be going on in your area that may not be going on in other states and areas as well, right? So I went to the local bookstore today, Books a Million, right? And just wanted to kind of get an overview of, what different books about credit had out there in my local store. Now, I usually shop online at Amazon, so I know Amazon do have a lot of products. But this is just a day I wanted to, go and read for myself. And I found out that at my local store, Books a Million had no books, nothing on credit, right? And so I began to look at my notes, trying to get organized because you all are asking me for a book, right? You're asking me to do a book, never written a book. And so I just decided to look over my notes over the years. And I came across something that I really want to be transparent with you all with and share with you. So I do see all of your city and states coming in. I'm flashing them on the screen. So I don't take much time to get into the topic. I can't give you a shout out, right? But just know I see you. And thanks for dropping your city and states and saying hello. Mark Williams, yes, showing me some digital love, my beautiful Black queen. Thanks for educating people. You are from Moss Point, Mississippi. All right, always good to see a Mississippian in the house. Pittsburgh, California. It's my first time seeing a Pittsburgh, California, so I see Pittsburgh is in the house. Palm Bay, Florida, Beaumont, Texas. Thank you all for coming in. And also hit that like button as well and share this broadcast. Curtis from Alabama says, that's deep, no books on credit at the bookstore. Right. Now, I know you can find books on credit from Amazon, but nothing local, nothing tangible, touchable at the current bookstore. So maybe, just maybe, I will do my research on Amazon to see how many books are available on credit. I know there are because I purchased some. But, just nothing at the bookstore today was a very eye opener to me that there's not much on the topic, right? Or subject, written, which would motivate me to definitely begin my book journey, even though this would be something new for me. So first time live, Nyla on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit like and hit share. I think my microphone was muted. So I'm looking through my notes, and let me tell you something. The men that's watching this live stream, whether this live or on the replay, I'm gonna hold this up as long as I can. When your wife, right, this was when I was married to my ex-husband, when your wife started writing the bills and due date in red, that may be a red flag for your marriage, right? Okay, I see that. That might be a red flag in your marriage. And so I'm looking at my due date and the bills. My BMW was due on the 21st of every month. Monthly payment $551. For some reason my connection is being lost. Wells Fargo card, the balance was $1,762.94. Minimum payment was $18. Is the sound back now, you all? Let me know if the sound is back. Yes, Corey P does have books on credit. You can find this on Amazon as well. I have a couple of his books. Thank you so much, Nurse Shannon. Okay, huh? She said not able to chat tonight because she's at work. That's what it takes, getting it in. I'm going to ask you all to hold your questions to the end. Even though I will see them, I definitely will hold them to the end. But let me answer this question real quick. In your opinion, why do you think there are many single Black mothers? Probably because they kill our Black fathers on Periscope, right? Black men are being killed every day. Always been raped, ostracized during slavery, taken away from the homes, made to perform things sexually. All right, they imprison them. One of the commercials that I listened to on the radio today in Mississippi is about discrimination of imprisonment terms with Black men in particular, that if you get caught with weed, it's a lifetime jail sentence. So if I can answer that question, why there's so many single Black mothers, is because of the treatment and ostracizing of our Black men that's been done since the beginning of slavery, So I try to stay on topic, but that question kind of rang loud to me, stood out to me, so I wanted to take time to answer that question. I don't know what it has to do about the live stream, but here's the answer. But to combat that question, I'm going to share this with you on my Facebook page. Did you all know, for example, this is my Facebook post, Mansa Musa, the richest person in history. Musa got primarily through trading gold. I tell you all, gold is real money. And salt, which he found in abundance in West Africa at the time. He also used the money to strengthen the country's culture centers, et cetera, et cetera. So this man is arguably the richest, or was the richest man in history. So I'm sharing it to say this. I think we, the Black and brown community, definitely need to know our history, need to know whose we are, where we come from, and our not only financial power, but other powers as well. Definitely watch documentaries on Netflix about the prison system. And yeah, so let me get back to the topic so I can stay on topic. So these are my debt and bills, or were my debt and bills. Best Buy, minimum payment $148, $2,400 balance. And that was due on the 2nd. And on the 15th, the balance was $1,658, minimum payment $131 for another card. And at that time, I had a Lexus vehicle, still had a note on it. The balance was $13,121.74. Minimum payment was $271.25. And then I finally get to the bills, which is energy and water bills, right? So I'm just looking at 2016, the bills that I had, the bills that I was responsible for, and the bad debt that I had occurred, and not just me. This is when I was married, right? You all been following me for a while. You know that I am divorced, currently divorced. So this were our bills, and it really shed some light when I went back and looked at this, because I want people to understand. Do not think. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. If you are, I can block him or put him in timeout. Let me see if I click on that profile. Or maybe my moderators, as they come in, can block him or put him in timeout. But so during the marriage, those were my bills, just 2016, just 4 years ago. Now, mind you, that I still had a payment on my BMW car on the 21st and a Lexus on the 7th that were due. This is not my utilities that I'm sharing. So this is 4 years ago. The Lexus was $13,000 still, right? And I always buy my vehicles pre-owned. I never buy them brand new because of the depreciating costs, right? So there's never a good investment. So I'm coming to you all, being transparent. Then I have 2 more bills at the bottom. So that wasn't it. Wells Fargo for furniture finance was $1,223. Minimum payment was $63. Then Best Buy, I had to replace it. I have TV and washer. Minimum payment $25 on a $1,000 balance. So I'm letting you all know that there is a difference between debt and credit. This was debt, right? And this was stress, right? This was stressful situation for me. And this was debt. All of these were liabilities. None of these were returning cash to me. It was taking cash away from me. And I'm saying me now, but at the point of this time, what you see in red was during a marriage, right? The marriage ended in 2017 due to divorce. And this is a lot of the reason why. So again, if I have any men in the house, or if your wife comes to you with bills in red, right, you definitely want to stop and pay attention, because that's, to me, that's not a good sign for your marriage, right? Definitely not a good sign for your marriage. Yes, liabilities hurt marriage. And when you have money problems, it escalates into other problems, right? It escalates and leads into other problems. And so what I had to do after the divorce in 2017 was to learn how to use these principles of debt and flip it, okay, and turn it into how to now use credit to get assets. And this is what got me out of the debt. Changing the way I use the bank's money is what got me out of everything in this red. All of this is no longer existing 4 years later. Now, I won't tell you that I used the debt snowball method. I didn't. What I did, the very first thing I did was find the money out of my paycheck. Because in all honesty, I was already working a second job. I'm a teacher and a coach at the public school systems. And so I will work 12, 14-hour days, right? As a coach, get home late. So I was already working 2 jobs, but really just getting paid for the price of one, right? And so what I did was find the money right out of my paycheck through a home-based business. That increased my take-home pay $500 a month. This is another book I do recommend that you all read. Someone mentioned Corey P. Smith, Conspiracy of Credit. That's the godfather and the king of credit right there. You definitely need to Google and follow him on this YouTube. But Sherry Peel Jackson, How to Stick It to the IRS. I mean, this is a great, great book. I'm telling you. She also goes into the power of a home-based business, right? A home-based business and the tax write-offs that you get, and showing you where to find your money, right? The question is always, who moved my money? Showing you, and I'm trying to open up to that section in this book to show it to you, or that chapter. Here it is, page 113, how to use a home-based business to stick it to them. And so I tell people all the time, and I'm going to type in this business principle, right? This is how I got out of debt and used my credit to purchase assets, right? So Mark says, thank you for sharing your personal business to help you overcome failure or truth. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very transparent about where I come from. I don't mind sharing that, because hopefully, I have no idea what that statement means. Hopefully it can help someone along the way. So you have to find your money. You have to find out who's taking your money. And I demonstrated on last night live stream that you get 7.5% of taxes taken out of your paycheck, right, from Social Security and Medicaid. And then your federal taxes, you get an additional 6.2%. So you have to find the thieves, who's stealing your money, right? Who's taking your money? See, the rich and wealthy already know the answer to that question. And Curtis, you say a renewed mind. I wouldn't necessarily call it a renewed mind. It's just now an educated mind, right? Your mind can only be renewed when it is educated on new information, right? And so, who is stealing your money? Now, I want you all to hashtag do this for me. I want you to hashtag because we're going to have a little credit church tonight. Last night we had credit class. We're going to have a little credit church. Who's stealing your money? I want you to hashtag credit church. And let me find this scripture. This is impromptu, but this is a biblical scripture. And I think the Bible is the number one best-selling book on prosperity. Just hands down, right? There are over, let me see, I had them in my notes. My notes is just a book within itself. But I just read it in my notes that there are over 300 scriptures in the Bible on money, right? Even money management. Over 300 scriptures in the Bible on money. And let me share this scripture with you. Proverbs 6, 31 and 33. Proverbs 6, 31 and 33 reads that if the thief, well, let me go back to verse 30. Make sure I can do that. Review the full chapter. So let's have credit church. I just go with the flow. Verse 30 says, men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of the house. But whosoever, well, let's get into some other thing. But I did want to do really 30 and 33. If the thief be found, right, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. So who is the thief that's taking your money? Who's stealing your money? Well, I'm going to show you all who the thief is right now. No, it's not that Mark crooked neck pastors. You know what? And let me say this. Most people that say it's the pastors or the church, they don't understand that the rich and wealthy give 10% of their income either to a church or charity. Those are one of the attributes of the rich and wealthy. See, I know we don't have fire burning stoves, right, like we used to, but not giving your money to a charitable organization or a creditable church will stop the flow of money to coming back to you, right? The Bible says, give and it shall be given to you. You have to give to get. That will stop your money flow. So I'm going to show you who the thief is, because a lot of people that say thieves are pastors, they don't tithe anyway. They don't give their 10%. So it's like, and I said the wood burning stove. It's like the wood burning stove. You want the wood to continue to give you heat, right? Or you want the stove to produce heat for you, but you don't want to put wood in the stove. It doesn't work that way. If you want heat, you have to put in the wood. If you want money, you have to give money. Those are the laws of the universe and the universal God. Giving and receiving. So now, the type of church you give to does matter, because in the Bible it says some receive a 30-fold, some is 60-fold, 60-fold, some 100-fold return. And it's just like in the agricultural world, that if you are giving or sowing into bad soil, see, I'm from Mississippi, right? And in Mississippi, in the northern part of Mississippi, is something we call the Delta. It's called black soil, right? It's called the black soil part of Mississippi. Let me see, can I Google this information? And in the black soil of Mississippi, if you, let me see, can I find it? If you plant in this geographical location, that soil is richer there than any other part of Mississippi. So let me see, it's called a black belt fertility. Let me share this with you. Kind of on topic, but off topic. But that's how live stream goes, right? We go with the flow. And you see the black belt prairie along this land covering Mississippi and Alabama's forms dominate the landscape. This region is known as the Black Belt Prairie, so named for its characteristically dark, fertile soil. The contrast between the cultivated land and the surrounding forest areas is so dark that it's visible from space. But if you plant in this rich soil, your produce, right, agriculture that comes from it, the Black Belt Prairie, the oil is so much fertile and it has so much calcium that it's great for growing crops. And so you do have to know where church organization you are giving to, because I'm not going to say that our churches are good soil to plant in, right? Someone says I'm from Alabama, Tuskegee. That is true, right? So this is the thief. You first got to recognize the thief. According to Proverbs 6, you have to recognize who the thief is stealing your money. Besides looking yourself in the mirror as well. So for the people that just now coming in, I'm going to share this again because this was profound to me. I decided I would do some research and kind of, start the process of writing a book on how to use credit to get out of bad debt. And so I'm going to show you this picture again. This was my debt back in 2016. And when I was in a marriage, this is all of it. And I want you to know the bills due in the due date. I want you to pay attention to, you see how your bills, my bills and expenses and utilities, this is not even including utilities. 21st, 1st, 2nd, 21st, 2nd, 6th, 2nd, 15th, 7th, 10th. If you just have linear income, meaning you're getting paid once a month, once a week, or bi-weekly, but you have a daily rotation of bills, you will always be in the rat race. You will always be in that cycle of chasing money, and money will never chase you. So this is the thief. Okay, we said we're having credit church. This is the thieves. And I'm going to get someone to really do a PowerPoint for me. Is your federal, state, and I can just have this in a PowerPoint presentation. So these are the thieves. Your federal, state, and forgive me that it was on caps and I hit the shift button, and taxes, your FICA, your Social Security, and Medicaid. Because I explained last night that 7.5% of your paycheck. I think that's right. Let me see. I still have my notes. Yeah, Social Security, Medicare. $7.5%. Your paycheck go to Social Security, Medicare. Then your employer has to match it by 7.5%, which means they can't give you a pay raise because they have to match your Social Security Medicare tax. So from there, I still have my notes, but it might show a little glare. You have your federal taxes that come out of your paycheck, 6.2%. Sorry, 6.2%. So if you don't know how to control this flow of cash, this 13.7% coming out of your paycheck, you'll never get ahead because rich people understand how to pay themselves first and not give up 13.7% of their paycheck of paying the government. Their cash flow is different. And you do this, again, for the people that's just not coming in, through a home-based business. Again, Sherry Peel Jackson, just one of the books that I read and recommend so that you can all really understand the power of a home-based business. From the book, How to Stick It to the IRS. And then I have another book here, Lower Your Taxes Big Time. And you know what the problem is? Lower Your Taxes Big Time by Sandy Bakken. You know what the problem or the situation is? Number one, you don't know how to stop the thief from taking out of your paycheck because you haven't recognized the thief. So now that I've exposed who the thief is that's stealing your money and keeping you in a cycle of bad debt, now I have to make you understand that these are coming from my notes. This business principle that oh my God, please, how do I cut off my notifications? You all need to understand this business principle. This one thing, Jay-Z teach it in his songs, that you don't run a business, you are a business. Hello, Justin is back in the house. He looks so young. So it is to first, you got to identify the thief. Hello, Letitia, Speedy Clippers, 720, 750, 760 credit score club. Azu says Trump wants to remove 75% of employer contributions trying to bankrupt. And yes, Sherry Peel Jackson used to be an IRS agent. And when you all get this book, you are really going to see where your money is going. You think that the IRS is a government entity, which is not true. It is not a central bank. It's not even a bank. You wouldn't believe the rich and wealthy family that started and owned the IRS. So you have to read the book, The Creature of Jekyll Island. You read that book, you will understand exactly where that federal taxes is going to. Central bank. So business principle is This is my Facebook page for those asked about Facebook. You don't run a business, you are a business. Do you all understand that? Because I stated the United States is not a country, it's a corporation, right? Let me type this in because you have to make a mind message connection. And the only way you're going to get out of this rat race is you have to be taxed as a corporation. Hello, my aunt is in the house on Facebook. United States of America, yes, how to stick it to the IRS. It is not a country, it's a corporation. Yes, Justin. Lower your taxes big time. Yep, how to stick it to the IRS. They all saying the same thing. The Creature of Jekyll Island. He's put in the book titles in there for you all, so thank you. Oh, I misspelled the, but the United States is not a country, right? It's a corporation. And Jay-Z said it best that you're not a businessman, right? You are a business man. Or he said he's not a businessman. Let me show you all this so you can make a, because again, I believe in visuals. You have to understand that you're not a business person, a man, male, or female. You are a business. And when you're not being taxed as a business, your money is being stole out of your hard-earned labor. That's why when you go to HR, it's called human resource, because you are the human resource. And when you are being taxed on your W-4 by your social security number and not through a corporation, which you can be taxed through a home-based business, you'll always be in this rat race. So you don't run a business. You are a business, right? And you all have buried talent that is keeping you in this rat race. So for the people that may not understand, because okay, Justin said it for you, Wanda. But this is Sherry Peel Jackson. Yeah, okay, that's it. The Creature of Jekyll Island. You all need to read that, right? And you'll understand, right? You are the business. You are the business. And you're giving the government 40% of your labor out of every paycheck. Out of every dollar you make, you're bringing home roughly 60 to 70 cents on the dollar. So my very first chess move to get out of bad debt and to start using my credit to invest was to find the money, find the thief, to get out of all this debt in 2016 out of my paycheck. This is what it took. This is what I had to do. $500-$600 came directly out of my paycheck. Now I didn't have to find a second job, or because you all do understand that a second job means also more taxes, right? And the bigger your house equals more taxes, higher utilities, etc. A bigger car means I'm not spelling right. A bigger car means higher maintenance. All right, now I spelled it right. So you have to, someone says they're using us like temp service. Well, I'm trying to give you a financial education because we said we're having credit church, right? So let me use scripture on you because people perish because of lack of knowledge. You put your money in the banks, for example, and you earn 1 to 2% interest on that money. Instead of taking your money or using credit and taking your money out of the bank and earning 5, 10, or 15%, or using cheap debt to get a higher return on your investment. Let me share with you all what I shared on my Facebook page today about what leverage is, because I don't think you all understand leverage. So yes, Martin, $100,000 salary is really a $60,000 salary, right? So now when you take your house and make your house a business, right? Now the money that's flowing out for the maintenance of your home, it could be your home, an apartment, a condo, whatever you're renting, 20% of that living space in your home through a home-based business now becomes tax deductible. So that's almost equivalent to receiving rent money on a spare bedroom or a spare office space in your home, right? So thank you all. Mic drop. Hosea 4 and 6, my people are scared, right? And a lot of you all reject knowledge. You come and you watch my live streams every day. You still haven't signed up for the home-based business because you don't understand. You haven't, it haven't registered with you. That's where your money is going, and that's what's stealing your money. And until you can get that money back in your purse or your pocket, you will always be in this cycle of bad debt. Like I showed you all that I was in when I was married in 2016. You will never break free of that. You see the this book cover. This is what you will always be in until you understand the power of yourself in a home-based business. Until you understand that you don't run a business, you are a business. Until you understand that the United States is not a country, it's a corporation. And as long as you're being taxed as an individual and not as a business, you will always be in a rat race. These are the secrets to the rich and wealthy. More W-2, right? The more you work, the harder you work, the more taxes you pay. The harder you work, the more taxes you pay. Jesus says as soon as you reach 65K a year on earned income, you have to know how to invest. The first thing you got to do is learn how to keep more of the money you make. And that's what Robert Kiyosaki talks about in his cash flow quadrant, right? That employees, the E quadrant, get taxed 30 to 40%. By the time you add all of your state and local taxes, property taxes, I said last night, you pay taxes when you spend money, when you earn money, when you save money, and when you die. You have taxes on your life insurance policy if you have one that's going to be taken out. So if you're in this bracket, right, employee, the E stand for employee, 30 to 40%. This is for the soloist or the specialist or the sole proprietor. Someone asked me, how do you be taxed as a sole proprietor last night? These people are taxed even more. Sole proprietor, you're taxed even at a higher tax bracket, 40%. You got your doctors, your lawyers, your specialists, all of those can have those degrees and still don't understand how to keep more of their money. So what they do is when they get the bigger luxuries, they just increase their pricing. they increase the amount that they charge you, right? Everyone needs to learn this cash flow quadrant. So then you get to this, which is the big businesses, and they're taxing the order 10 or 20%. So this is why I showed you about Ray Kroc and McDonald's, and how he recognized he was not in the hamburger business, but he was in the real estate business. But you can get taxed the same way a franchise owner of a McDonald's can get taxed through a home-based business with lesser startup costs and capital, where you don't have to pay thousands to start a business. Because I shared with you all yesterday that 9 out of 10 businesses, right, that start up on their own and don't use the leverage of other people fail within the first 5 years. So this is where you want to shift your paycheck from being taxed from the employee to now being taxed as an entrepreneur. Then you have the bottom right side of the quadrant where investors, savvy investors, I'm not talking about people that day trade, because most people that day trade stocks or Forex, they still get taxed by capital gains tax. They don't know how to save much of their money either. You get taxed 0%. And to do this, you must use debt to invest. Not your own money. You got to learn how to use debt to invest, because once you take out a loan, that loan is a liability to the company, right? Thank you so much, Jesus. And now that liability is a tax write-off. You all have to understand that debt is not taxed. Your money is taxed, but debt is not taxed. So what do I mean by that? For example, let's say that I took out a loan to buy a rental house. Now, that loan is tax deductible because it's a business expense for my business. Now, the money that I'm generating from my tenant in the rental house has to be taxed as income to me. But the way I offset that income is I use the debt that I use to invest and purchase the home and the tax deductions of the real estate property for the maintenance and the upkeep, all my tax write-off for that. So now that cash flow that I'm receiving from my tenant, I'm balancing out to where there's not taxable income because I use debt to invest. But if I use my own cash money to buy a rental property, I'm taxed on the cash, right? I'm taxed on the purchase of the rental property. So why not use debt? Right? Why not use debt? The bank's money where there is no tax on it. Now, some people may ask or question, well, you have to pay interest, right? You have to pay interest on that debt. So is that the same as being taxed? Let me explain this. When you borrow long term with lower interest rates, you pay more than borrowing short term with higher interest rates. Let me say that again. Because people don't really understand how to use debt and the power of using debt or credit. When you borrow, you get into a mortgage, 30-year home, 3.7%. You think, oh, I got a low interest rate, 3%. But when you borrow with lower interest rate over the long term versus borrowing on the short term with shorter interest rate, you pay more interest over the life of that loan or that debt. So then this is how leverage works. Let me share this with you. This is how leverage is. This is the definition for leverage. And thank you, Facebook, for sharing the live stream. And I made this comment today, or this post today on Facebook, that being debt free doesn't mean you're financially free, people. If not, ask a senior citizen that works at Walmart. I'm in the public education field. Teachers will work up to 30 years, finally retire, draw their pension, and then find out they're back substitute teaching all again within 3 years. They have no house note. They say, "Oh, my house is paid. 30 years. I finally paid my house off. And they're back making extra income within 2 to 3 years because they're finding out that being debt free is not financial freedom. If you don't have, and this is the third text that I haven't talked about, which is inflation, the rising prices of goods and services. If you don't have a way to make your money outlast inflation, you'll work till you die. You'll work until you die. So this is the definition that I like to use for leverage. Leverage is an investment strategy of using borrowed money to increase your return on your investment. So let me say it again. Leverage is an investment strategy of using borrowed money, not your money, to increase your return on investment. So thank you so much, Claude, for the $4.99 super chat. So inflation is the silent tax killer, silent income killer. Although your pay raises slowly, the economy prices raises even quicker. Right, the silent income killer, right? The hidden tax. I don't know what Justin and that you all just having a private, Justin and Jesus. So I'm gonna let you all have y'all little private chat because I'm looking down in my notes. This last thing I want to share with you all real quick. I want everyone, while I'm looking to find these notes, to put in velocity. Well, inflation is not just killing senior citizens; it's killing the millennial too. So if you're coming in at the end, these were my debt in 2016 when I was married. 2017 got divorced. It had a lot to do with it. Not all to do with it, but it had a lot to do with it. The marriage, the relationship within itself. In 2020, all of these debt is paid, and I am now using credit to invest. So I had some notes on here on velocity banking. I want to take a little time to share that. If you all have any questions, go ahead and start dropping those questions now before I log off. The next strategy, explain how I'm using credit to invest. This is one way how I have balance transfer credit cards, balance transfer high limits. I pay the checks in order to myself. This is at 0% interest rate for a year. I convert credit into cash, deposit it into my checking account, convert it into cash. Then I use the cash as leverage to get the bank's money. I never take my cash and invest with. I use it as a leverage, as an asset. And I pull out equities in the real estate investment that I invest in. I do have, sometimes I buy cryptocurrency on my credit cards as well. So this is how I use credit to invest. My definition that credit and debt is not the same. Credit and debt is not the same. Again, we said we're having credit church. So my go-to scripture is always 2 Kings chapter 4, where the widow woman, her husband had died, and she was in bad debt. And she went to the prophet Elijah and said, hey, we're in bad debt. And if I don't pay this debt, my husband has died and he served you. My sons will be sold into slavery. And he told her to go borrow. Borrow is credit. When you borrow something, you're using credit. He said, go borrow vessels, much as you can, not few. He told her, get as much capital as she can, go borrow pots. And she then converted, used credit by borrowing other people's pot, OPP. We're going to say OPP for that. You all remember what OPP, you remember that song, you down with OPP? Well, we're going to use it in the scripture way. Not that way, but other people's pots. She borrowed other people's pot and invested it, and she started her home-based business. And instead of her sons working for someone else in slavery because of bad debt, they work alongside their mother, and they use credit, and they started a home-based business. And she became rich out the rest. Yeah, naughty by nature. Thank you, Jesus. I'm still trying to see that. I'll look at the comments that Jesus and Justin are having later on. So let me get into velocity banking. Yeah, you got to be down with OPP. You got to be down with OPP. Others people's pots. You got to be down with credit. You got to borrow. Yeah, so that's the other OPP. Martin said, congrats on being debt-free. Chase will now allow me to get balance transfer checks. I have Chase Freedom. They allow me to get balance transfer checks. I have a Chase Freedom credit card. So let's talk about velocity banking. Now, if you have a Chase business card, they might not allow you to. Business cards don't have balance transfer options. Those are my personal credit cards. All right. So velocity banking, this is how this works. We talked about infinite banking somewhat, was I for or against infinite banking? This was my own mortgage, and I already had everything written down. My mortgage is much lower now. This was a year ago. So this is all from my notes. I told you, I'm teaching right from my notes tonight. So this was my mortgage debt. $100. I'm just gonna make the numbers round. This is no longer my mortgage debt, but this is how I use credit to pay off my mortgage debt quicker, faster, right? It's like traveling by a vehicle versus traveling by a plane or a jet, right? So the interest rate on my mortgage loan is 3.75% interest. So you have to take the balance of your mortgage, if you're a home buyer, and multiply it by the interest rates. So this comes out to be $510,000. I think. 18, 19. Yeah, $510,000. So I divide that by 12, the annual number of payments I'm making. And if you have a mortgage, this is how you do it as well. So you take the balance of your mortgage, multiply it by the interest rate, come out with the number divided by 12. This is how you find out how much interest you're paying in your mortgage. So at this point in time, it was $425. So I told you all earlier that my house note was $1,275, right? Out of the $1,275, $425 was interest. $425 was interest. I'm gonna get to questions later on. Yes, I do. Azu said that video you did on mortgage loan when I scratched, I guess your balance. Right. So this is kind of old because my balance right now is about $15,000 less, and my note is no longer $1,275. It's $1,009, I think. You wouldn't believe it, but I'm not that good at numbers, right? Until it comes to money. I just paid my mortgage today. And the reason why I don't know it like right off the bat, because I put some like an extra $100 toward the principal. So now if I have a credit card, this was a pen fed 0% for 1 year, $20,000 card. So let's say I took that and I transferred that cash into my checking account, and now I'm going to use that money to attack my mortgage note. So you have to apply towards the principal of the mortgage. This is the core, what you have to attack. When you attack the principal, then your interest automatically will drop. So if you're trying to do this on your own, you have to tell the mortgage company or the bank that you want to apply this money towards the principal. So let's say I took my PenFed card and I transferred that $20,000, 0% that I have for 12 months towards the principal of this loan. The total interest rate that it would save me over the life of the loan. This is why you use credit, right? This is why you use credit to pay off bad debt. Would be total number of interest saved, $92,980.60. Look at just this one chess move. So chess, not checkers. Credit church, whatever you want to call it. So the number of years saved was 4.58 off the loan. And then the dollar amount saved was $44,000. $44,574.88. Now you may ask, well, Queen, if you are trying to pay down that $20,000 debt before the interest accumulates on that credit card, then how do you do that? Okay, that's a great question. Number one, your monthly payment will automatically drop because you made a lump sum payment towards the principal. So your monthly payment on your mortgage will automatically drop because that interest has just been totally annihilated, right? Yes, it's very important. You have to apply to the principal of the loan. If you don't apply to the principal, that's the counselor of the loan, then your interest will stay the same. So now you want to calculate how many payments you would have to make divided by 12 to pay off $20,000. So $20,000 divided by 12, because it's showing $1,666. Now you may be saying, well, I don't have $1,600 extra dollars a month to pay off this credit card. If you keep your credit in good standing, people, if you have more than one credit card that offers 0% interest rate, when it get close to the 9th, 10th, 11th month, I will roll it over to another 0% interest rate transfer. But I definitely, if this drops by $200 or $300, then I would definitely apply towards the $20,000 of this credit card. So that should free you up $300. Then if you use the paycheck checkup W4 wealth strategy, that can free you up $300 to $600 a month. So why does this work like this? The mortgage, again, I stated earlier, if you have a low interest rate loan, the longer you pay it, the more interest you pay. Your mortgage on your home is compound interest, meaning that it is already pre-calculated into the principal balance. Yearly, that's why you divide it by 12. And once that interest is front-loaded into your yearly payments or your 30-year loan or your 15-year loan payments, then it's broken down into your monthly payments, which is 3 parts. You're paying the principal, you're paying the interest on your mortgage, and you're paying the escrow. So you have to cut back on your interest payments. I was paying $425 a month in interest, but when I attacked the principal balance, that interest payment went down. And this is how you pay off a house in 5 to 10 years. Now, credit cards have what is called simple interest. Simple interest means that after 30 days, whatever interest you have on the balance of that account is charged. See, with a mortgage loan, it doesn't matter if you're paying down the balance. That interest has already been predetermined and front-loaded if you don't pay down the interest. That's why making an extra house payment, all of that is not the quickest way to get out of bad debt. You know, make an extra house payment at the end of the month. This velocity banking method is the quickest way to get out of mortgage debt. And it's best to use credit cards to attack compound interest or amortization interest and simple interest. So as you're paying down a credit card, you're only accrue interest on the balance of that credit card at the end of the 30 days. So let's say interest always feeds the balance, the lower the balance. Yes, the lower, the less interest, but that only works for credit cards, right? Let me see. So the savings go back to the money you take out. Yes, but look at the life of how much I'm saving over the life of this, just by doing this one chess move. 92,000 and 4.58 years saved. And this is what I'm doing in the dollar amount. Because again, you have to remember this is a 30-year mortgage. So over the 30-year period, if I don't do this again, right, doing this one time would definitely save. Now, you can't call up if you have a bank, you can't call them and ask, can I pay towards the principal of this loan with my credit card? Most banks, mortgages would not accept credit card payments. So if you have balance transfer cards, and this can work with a $5,000 0%. Maybe you want to start at $5,000 instead of $20,000, and you just rinse and repeat. You put $5,000 towards the principal of your mortgage. That gives you 12 months, right? And that way you don't have to pay $5,000 paid back. Where my math people at? It's only how much a month? $416 a month. So you're going to save $200 or $300 because your monthly payment on the mortgage would decrease. And so you might just want to do that start at $5,000, 0% balance transfer. So, yes, if you have balance transfer cards, this is the way you have to do it. This is the only way you're going to be able to convert your credit into cash, because you can't call the banks and make a payment on your mortgage with the credit card directly. So you have to do it that way, right? So that's my little quick lesson on velocity banking. You all always ask me about that. So any questions at this time? If not, I'm signing out. But just know, even your cars, your repair on your cars, your vehicle, your mileage, your maintenance, all of this with the home-based business is tax deductible. So you get some of the money back that you're spending out, right? And other than that, I'm going to, and just some more of my notes I'm gonna share with you all that I want to tell you all that, look, this recession is coming whether you're prepared for it or not. Whether you plan for it or not. You will have the future of what you want, or you will have the future of what happens to you by default. Let me say this again. This recession is coming whether you are prepared for it or whether you plan for it or not. You will have the future of what you want or the future of what happens to you by default. That's why my very first business that I incorporated was called Lifestyle Design. This is another business that I have for my basketball academy. But that's why I called it Lifestyle Design. You can live life by design, or you can live it by default. Whether you plan for it or not, you're going to have the future you want, or you're going to have the future that happens to you by default. So are you going to plan and prepare for it? Or are you going to continue giving me compliments on my live stream but not taking any action? I made a statement a long time ago that I can help 1,000 people, but I can't carry 3 on my back. And so you have to take action. You have to take action. You have to get passive income. You have to have cash flow with little or no effort. And you got to get money back to return to you that you spend out within your house, within your cars, within your mortgage, right? So now let me read the comments and we're going to end. Thank you so much, Mark, for that comment. Rather learn from to get my money. I don't know who. Oh, you're saying that the church is the greedy dog. Okay. There are some good pastors out there. There's some good churches out there. And there's some churches that are doing well for the community and for the people, what they're supposed to do during that pandemic. You know, there's good and bad everywhere. You just have to be able to cipher through the good and the bad. You got to be able to find the good soil and the bad soil, the thorny soil, the soil with more weeds in it. So it has to be transferred. And then, yes, you have to transfer that towards the principal. And then that money you're saving on your monthly payment, or use some of that. And I also recommend people get their paycheck pay raise through getting a home-based business and get $300-$600 more out of your paycheck to apply this. It's going to save you more money in the long run. So just do that. People say credit cards are bad, but at the beginning of a mortgage, people are paying 500%. Exactly. Mortgages are front loaded. Okay. I'm not giving you financial advice, people. I'm just giving you an example, and sharing with you how I did, what strategies I used to get out of bad debt. Right? It's 51,000 and you save 9,200, or I put 92,000. Well, I've closed my notebook now, but either way it go, you save money. What cards do you recommend? Just know that credit cards are changing. During this recession, banks are tightening down on their lending. But some of my personal credit cards, again, that was PenFed I just shared with you, of their balance transfer card offer. Citi Card is good at balance transfer. I also have Chase Freedom that gives me balance transfer checks as well. So those are 3 cards that I know that are good. You contact me on my website, www.fixmycreditandcash.com. If you need credit coaching, credit help, the tab is there for you. You first have to start with investing, making a small investment in a consultation. And let me share this with you all, that even the home-based business, all of this is an investment. It's not a cost. My services is not a cost. It's an investment, because you can't turn the banks against each other with bad credit. These are strategies for people that have the credit that can get the balance transfer cards at 0% interest rate. So you saw my before, and if you didn't see my debt from 2016, go back and watch the beginning of this video, whether you're watching it live on the replay. So the custom credit analysis, this is also the About Me section. So if you just want to know what I do in About Me, go there. Also, this is a trademark that I have. I'm also writing a book titled Woman Thou Art Wealthy. My trademark is pending, but that book is going to discuss rich and wealthy women in the Bible. You don't hear a lot about that. Because this is a Cash App payment, because PayPal takes so many fees, make sure you include your name and email address in the notes. This is what credit reporting system I use. And after you have pulled your credit report from this link, click on this YouTube video, and it has instructions explaining how to email me your credit report. Allow 5 business days. I used to be 2 to 3 business days, but I'm just getting overwhelmed with clients. So I'm going to have to make it 5 business days now. Thank you so much, Libra, for the $3 super chat. I appreciate that. Okay, McDonald says she's taking action. Thank you so much. Okay, Jesus says 92K in interest sound right. Thank you, Jesus. And so you all, I'm just going to put a PowerPoint together. And since I'm sharing, let me share this other thing with you all. Since I'm sharing my debt with you all and all my other secrets, this is a pile of collections accounts that I used to have. I had to have some years ago, healthcare financial. I had to have major like surgery because I had endometriosis. And all of these were debt collectors' bills. And this is another thing I did to save me thousands of dollars, was I began to learn about debt validation under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And when I learned the law and the language, so a lot of people want to say, hey, Queen, you know, what book did you read? I told them I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. Because I uploaded the video today. There are not many books out here about credit, and it's definitely not books out here about disputing debt collectors. So it took a lot of time, energy, passion, and research. And at this time, you know, I'm sick and ill, but When you have collections coming in and you don't have the finances and you're stressed, you'll find a way. But my very first strategy started with getting more money out of my paycheck. All right, someone asked, where do we learn more about the home-based business? I'm just going to have to put this all in PowerPoint formation because for the most part, you all pretty much ask me the same, questions, whatever I'm going live. So I'm going to put all of this in PowerPoint format of the most common asked questions. But this is the link to that. Yes, thank you for the super chat. How long did it take me to be debt free? This was in 2016. This was my debt in 2016. Now I use credit to gain assets and get cash flow. This was my 2016 debt. When I had a BMW car note, a Lexus car note, City car. See, I wasn't using credit cards at this point to get assets. I was using credit cards to invest in liabilities. Right. So my divorce was in 2017, about 3 years. This is my future book, Learn the Credit Game, Cash Flow Your Life, and Never Fear Debt. Okay, Jesus, I got you. Now on the home-based business. You all are asking about that. Let me share this with you. You can go to this website. Share the screen. This is the link. Thank you, Justin, so much for the $5 super chat. Okay, I'll answer incorporation in a few minutes, Justin. This is the link to the home-based business, www.bit.ly/MWR home-based business. Enter your name, phone number, and email. It will take you through the videos. It's what I call paycheck, pay raise. Give you an analyzation of what's in your paycheck. Start there, and then also go to how to shiftyouриncome.com. And it's 2 short videos that I want you all to watch as well. 2 short videos. This is my millionaire mentor. But explaining MWR home-based business, how it helps you lower your taxes, increase your credit score as well, eliminate debt, and generate wealth. So watch these 2 in particular. How to strategize your way to 3 figures a day, 4 figures a week, and 5 figures a month. And this is daily pay. People, this is daily pay. This is what I'm telling you. You have to have daily pay. So go to howtoshiftyourincome.com, because if you don't have daily pay, you'll always be in the rat race. Let me pull up. In the money wheel. Because your bills come circular. Different due dates, different parts of the month. But you only have linear income. And so when I'm referring to the rat race or the rat cycle, this is what I'm referring to. This is Spanish or something, so you can't really look at that. And then let me show you how the cash flow quadrant too. So this is how your monies come: income, bills, debt, no saving. Then you say, I work hard, I need to save, lifestyle. This is how my bills was coming in. But now through this home-based business, I get paid every day like clockwork. So you have to have circular income, not just outside of what I do with credit. This is passive income. The only thing I do to get this money is wake up, and it's daily deposits in my checking account passively. If you don't learn how to make money in your sleep, who was the famous person that quote that? You will work until you die. Who made that quote? I can't think of who quoted that. But if you don't learn how to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die. So this is the famous cash flow quadrant. I like this picture better. You're an employee, you have a job, you get taxed 30 to 40%. Then you're self-employed, you own a job, a soloist, doctor, lawyer, specialist, independent contractor, sole proprietor. You get taxed at 60%. You work for money and for security. But it's when you get to this quadrant, you own a system and people work for you, where you get taxed 20%. And then investors, when money works for them, 0%. Passive income. This is how you get freedom. They learn how to build businesses. People work hard for each other, right? And you can do all of this through the home-based business. So also, okay, see you, Jesus. Last question, Justin. Do you have information on incorporate? I just teach people through home-based business how to incorporate themselves. Because 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 5 years, but I did do my incorporation. But I tell people all the time, yes, I did incorporate some business idea, but what helped me first was my home-based business. This was my basketball vision business, and I'm incorporated in everything, but I'm not even doing basketball training right now. And then I have credit consulting, but my business is not 5 years old. So the story is still to be told about how successful I will be with that. But I will share with you, InkFile is very good to incorporate. I think thank you so much, Warren Buffett. They have very low fees, very professional work. So yeah, InkFile is really good. I think I've used them to do my incorporation for my credit consultation, but I did my academic and athletic instruction corporations on my own in the state of Mississippi. All right, so yeah, Warren Buffett. Let me find out Warren Buffett. And then my other famous quote. Here we go. If you don't make money in your sleep, you would definitely work until you die. Right. And then one thing I can say about the home-based business, I like that passive income. It is a mental pull when you are doing credit repair. So I need sometimes 3 or 4 days off of just mental rest. And then my other famous quote that I like a lot is by John D. Rockefeller. I'm going to leave you out with this. Let me share this with you. I wasn't planning on going here, but do you all know that John D. Rockefeller in 1902, right, one of the richest men alive, started a general education fund. And he started this fund because he said, thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. And so what this means is that he started this general education fund into the school systems to ensure that the topic of credit and money was not taught in schools. J.P. Morgan testified in court that silver and gold is real money. Everything else is just credit. And when you all don't understand that, you will be forever paying high taxes on cash because real money can't be taxed. That's why if you purchase silver and gold, no state taxes are applied on your purchase. Did you all know that? Because it's money, constitutional. It is real money, cannot be taxed. So this is why rich people use money from their pension funds, insurance payments, or whatever, and they transfer into insurance policies like gold and silver, all of that. So the rat race continues. So you got Dale Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller. They wanted to make sure that the school system was set up just like factories and manufacturing jobs. Bell to bell, single line, single rows, get you programmed soon as you enter into the school, from pre-K or kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, getting you programmed to be an employee, not allowing that right side of your brain, which is the creative side, to be really challenged in the school system. That's why you're told to, if you look on someone else's paper, it's cheating. Or we don't like group working in the school system, in the classroom. We want single individual work. They don't teach you about networking. They don't teach you about peer-to-peer tutoring and teaching. And that's where real education takes place. So as I coach basketball, I'm in physical education. So I understand the right brain teaching style. That's why you raise your right hand, teacher tell you raise your right hand to answer a question, because they only want to teach to that left side of your brain, which is that non-creative side. But then you have the arts part. That's why band, sports, all of that takes collaboration. And that's why a lot of people don't get into network marketing, because they don't know how to work with other people. They have been programmed from pre-K to kindergarten, then it goes on to college, that if someone helps you find the right answer, it's called cheating. They teach you individualism. And this was done by design. He said, I don't want a nation of thinkers. So let's make the school systems like these factories and warehouses, the Henry Ford. And I don't know if you all seen this, but the Henry Ford, you definitely need to watch how his factory was operated and ran. The people look like robots. If you ever watch a video on his documentary and the factory workers, they were robotic. And everything let me see, can I find it real quick and then I'm logging out. It was the most astounding thing that I have ever seen. It was so, okay, this is assembly line.
100 years ago, on October 1913, Henry Ford introduced life.
Executive chair. He thought, well, why can't I apply that same principle?
I'm not sure if it's going to actually show the assembly lines. Let me pull this up. And once you understand that how this is done by design, you can get out the rat race and you can change your way of thinking. You can change your paradigm. Let me see if this video, because this is very impromptu. But it's not the video I wanted. But if you look at everything is systematic, everything is done the same way every time. And this is how they set the school systems up. But I wanted to show it directly from that time and era because it was unbelievable to me. Let me see if this video is showing it. No, that's not the one. But I may can't. I don't know. It was just unbelievable when I saw this video. How robotic the people actions were in unison with one another. And this is how the school systems are set up and arranged. But I can't find it right now. That's just something for knowledge. So, yeah, it's a great way to look at it. And that's it. I'm signing off. Not sure if I'm going to live tomorrow, but if I do, make sure you subscribe. Just understand also the bigger assets you build, the less work you have to do and the more money you make. The more assets you build, the less work you have to do, and the more money you make. So what I think about network marketing, I love it because it's leverage. Leverage is using other people's time and their talents, right? Not just on your own. So someone said direct setup to school. Yeah, it's a direct correlation. It's a direct correlation. The rich and wealthy learn how to leverage other people's time. This is my other favorite quote. They understand they cannot get wealthy alone. They understand they cannot get wealthy alone. And they leverage other people's time, other people's talent. As John D. Rockefeller said, I'd rather get rich off 1%. What's that, John D. Rockefeller? Yeah. I'd rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. And so these are the richest and wealthiest men. Again, I told you all last night, Madam C.J. Walker, she got rich during the Great Depression because she understood how to leverage other women to help sell her products. Whereas the lady that had the product before her did not want to leverage other people. She didn't want to do that. She didn't want to, leverage Madam C.J. Walker. She wanted to stay solo. She wanted to stay on her own. And as a result, she didn't attain wealth. And so you need other people's talent, their time, and their tent. So I'm going to leave you with that quote. I'm signing out. Queen of Credit. How do you join? I think I shared that. Let me pull up this link again. Let me stroll before I log off. It's bit.ly. I think I can remember. www.bit.ly. /MWR home base. All right, so go to this link, put in your name, drop your name, your email. Let me make sure that this is the right. The right email address. Yeah, I think so. All right, yes, that was the correct link. So that's how you join. You get in a private Facebook group, private training. It will give me notification via email. Then I will have all your contact information, and I'll contact you and send you weekly updates about training and everything that's going on. All right, so this is to your peace and prosperity, your health and your wealth, and of course, your credit and your cash flow. Queen of Credit out. You all have a great night.